Hello everybody, my name is Shannon. This is Cosmic Goddess Healing. Welcome into my beautiful divine feminines, my divine masculines, my star seeds, my soul tribe. Welcome in to anybody that feels guided and aligned to come on in and check out my videos, my content, my channel. Today's a good day. It's a good day. You know, I had a thought this morning that I've actually been very consistently good. I was thinking, and I was taking a shower because today is hair washing day. I wash my hair once a week, by the way. I know that to some may sound gross. I do shower more than that. But I was always taught by my hairdresser when I was really young and doing hair modeling to not wash your hair a lot because it's actually bad for your hair and strips out the natural oils. So I wash my hair once a week. I usually will dry shampoo it in midweek or whatever, but even that I try not to do because I like to try to just keep the natural balance of my oils and not mess with that. So anyways, I don't know why I just shared that, but as I was in the shower, had a lot of information coming into me. I was receiving so many downloads. Even before getting into the shower, I was receiving so much information and so many downloads, and I was trying to make sense of all of it because it was coming in very quickly. A lot of information coming in very fast, a lot of visuals, a lot of knowledge, but it was almost too much for me to be processing all at once. So I got out of the shower and I was blow drying my hair, and usually I'll put on YouTube on my cell phone, and I heard a voice say, turn it off. Turn it off. You need to connect with your own intuition, your own channelings. Turn off the phone, turn off the distraction, and just be with yourself, be with your own intuition and your own channeled information. That's what matters most. So then I decided to come out and do a quick kind of journaling of the information that I was receiving that I feel is important for this episode today. So I'm going to read you what I wrote. So I wrote, where do I start here? I feel my expansiveness and connection to source opening wide. I started sensing that I was really important in a past life, and this was hard for me. I'm going to tell you that right now. The minute I started picking up on this and sensing this, I actually stopped and went whoa, is this real? Is this am I making this up? Is this real? Is this actually real information coming through? And the imposter in me and the wounded little girl in me that's been silenced for a long time and not validated for a long time was really having a hard time accepting that I was somebody important, that I was royalty, in fact. So I started sensing that I was really important in a past life, that I was royalty. At first, I thought Pleiadian princess, but then I was quickly corrected, being told Pleiadians don't have leaders or hierarchy in the way that I know and understand. Because everyone in the Pleiadian collective is equal and is truly one collective consciousness operating on the same morals and values. So nobody governs. There's nobody above anybody in the Pleiadian collective, which I thought was really cool, really interesting. I was shown I was actually a Mayan princess, like the Mayan, Mexico Mayan princess is what I was shown. And the visual I was even given was me as a Mayan looking female sitting on top of a pyramid, almost the ruins in Mexico. I saw myself sitting in a throne as a princess on top of one of these ruins, on top of one of these pyramids, and my father was the governing figure. which is crazy to me. Even as I'm saying this, this feels so crazy. And listen, some of you might be like, this bitch is crazy. She wild. Like, what is she even going on about right now? But I felt this was true. And although I struggled with it as well, I knew it was true. I felt it was real information. So I'm going to continue. So I was quick. Okay, I read that. I was shown I was a Mayan princess. This is where my connection to grandmother Aya and mother Gaia comes from. I've always had a deep connection to her roots and her animals. I was shown as a fair and just princess. I was a good leader. I was a fair leader, and this is important. And I'm going to get to the reason why that's important in my journey in this life. But it was almost like Spirit needed to point that out to me, that I was in a position of power and I was just, I was fair. I was a good person still, even with that power. And if you've watched some of my other videos, I think you're going to be catching on to where I'm going with this. So I've always had this connection to grandmother Aya and mother Gaia. I've always had a deep connection to her roots and her animals. I was shown as a fair and just princess, but that I chose to experience humility and hardship in this life to truly understand polarity. I've always felt a connection to royalty, but never fully understood why. In another vision, this wasn't this morning, but I don't know, for some reason I felt like I should include this in the journaling, but I don't remember when exactly I was shown this, if it was in one of my ceremonies with the shamans or when it was, but I was shown in a different life as a Himalayan princess. And I remember the vision I was shown was me as the princess on this very medieval castle-like balcony in the mountains, the Himalayas, and there was snow and it was cold. And I remember a male coming out behind me on the balcony, and he was like my protector. He was like my knight. But I was in love with him, and it was a forbidden love. We were not at the same level in terms of statuses in life. So our love was a forbidden love, but I was very in love with this man. I remember feeling that on that balcony. My heart was kind of broken in that moment of, I knew my heart belonged to this man, but that my father would never allow me to be with him. And I was shown this in a different vision, in a different time. So although I didn't see that this morning, for some reason I felt like it was just another confirmation of my connection to royalty and why I've always felt this deep bond with royalty. So then I was shown as a Himalayan princess in love with my protector, but not able to be with him because of our very different statuses in life. I believe that, and here's where this is important, I believe the Mayan princess was revealed to me to show me that I held immense power and it didn't change me or turn me into something else entirely. I remained strong, compassionate, and loving with my people and the landscape we lived in, which was the jungle. So I didn't let that power turn me into a selfish, power-hungry, you know what I'm talking about, the Trumps of the world, basically. I didn't turn into that, and I held a lot of power. So I believe this was all shown to me this morning to help me be prepared to hold what's coming next in my life. And I feel that it's big. I do. I feel that it's big, that I am not going to be playing it small anymore, that I am going to be expanding, and whether that's my YouTube channel blowing up or being seen in the world somehow, some way. I just don't know what that looks like yet, but I feel Spirit is preparing me for this big energy, for this the next expansion for me, which is being very seen by the world, and that terrifies me. But with that is going to come an immense amount of abundance as well. But I'm being taught to hold that now. I'm being shown that I can hold that I'm not going to change, that I've been able to keep who I am at the core in other lives when I've held power. So this one is going to be no different. If anything, I know humility and struggle more in this life. So even more so, why I wouldn't change is what Spirit was wanting me to know and understand this morning. But what I thought would be really cool today is let's dive into past life stuff today. Maybe this is important. I felt guided to use the Siren Song decks this morning. Actually this morning, it's afternoon. What am I talking about? I felt guided to use the Egyptian Star Oracle deck, and then we'll wrap it up with the Guardian Angel Tarot deck. So let's get into it. Spirit, only beings of the light may come into this reading. I ask that Spirit guides me, guides my hand, guides my thoughts so that I give clear and concise messages to the collective. But let's dive in. Let's dive into some past life stuff with the collective that's going to be guided to come in and watch this video today. Spirit, can you help this collective know or give them confirmation of what past lives they have lived? And maybe some of you have dove. Maybe you, sorry, cards on the floor. Maybe you've investigated past life stuff already. So I'm hoping that this is more just actually a confirmation of what you already discovered and learned from past life regressions, or I don't know, other ways that you've somehow explored past life stuff. So let's see. Let's see what's come out. So, okay. So the first card out is Mountain 21. And I don't really understand. I haven't looked at the book too much, but there's like suits on here, and this is clubs. So I don't know. To me, this feels like luck, but like the clubs, the suit of clubs in a traditional playing card deck. Gift. I'm gonna look at all the cards first, and then I'm gonna dive into the story that I'm feeling. Fox 14, and there's clubs again. It's funny, not all the cards have this, but there is two combined Lenormand and Kipper decks. So high honors, wow. Maybe some of you are royalty, like I'm feeling. Ooh, prison. I feel like that needs to go with gifts. And then birds and fish. Birds and fish are the next two cards out. And I'm gonna keep that in line with, where do I wanna put this? What do I wanna do with this? Okay, so I'm gonna start with the Mountain. I feel like, maybe this is representing the Himalayas too, like something to do with maybe even you having a past life in the mountains, in the Himalayas. Mount Shasta just came to my mind as well, like really spiritual places. But I don't see you, like this isn't royalty. I see you like not as somebody wealthy even. Like I see you as a pilgrimage, and like taking some sort of pilgrimage through the mountains. And that's why maybe Mount Shasta's come to mind, because I know it's a very spiritual place that calls people, but the Appalachians just came to my mind too, which I know is usually attached to a lot of darker stuff, but this feels like you're going on this pilgrimage, this personal pilgrimage. I don't know why. I'm not being shown why, but you're seeking something. You're seeking answers. Maybe you're looking for God. I don't know, but you're seeking some sort of answers through this pilgrimage. And then when I move on to the next section, the gifts and prison, you were part of the witch trials. I feel like your past life was being a witch in the witch trials, and you had gifts. You were very powerful. And you weren't connected to anything dark. It wasn't like you were doing anything wrong. You were just using the gifts that God gave you, but men, distorted men, didn't like it. So they silenced you. And any other female that held power back then, these little weak men, these little-minded men that couldn't handle a woman's power back then, silenced you. And you were imprisoned and most likely burned at the stake. So you had a very traumatic past life experience. And then it's really weird when I come to the next row. You know what? I've always wondered this too. Can we reincarnate as an animal? Because I feel that in this next row, to me, you came as an animal. A fox, bird, or a fish. Like, these are the three animals that have come out. And I feel like somehow you were here as one of these animals. You had a past life as either a fox, a bird, or a fish. And I feel like how you're gonna know that is you have a deep connection to these animals in this life. Maybe the fox is really important to you and you've always felt very drawn to the fox, or maybe it's birds. You're a bird watcher in this life and you feel very connected to birds. That's funny because I do. Now that I'm saying that out loud, I was at my mentor's house yesterday morning, at my NA mentor, and she has a little bird, a little budgie, and this beautiful little bird was so friendly and so crazy at the same time, but he kept landing on my head. And I have pictures of him, and he'd come down and he'd start like pruning my eyebrows, and like he was so sweet, but he kept pooping in my hair too. Thank God it wasn't hair washing day, because I really wouldn't have liked it. But you know, it's funny, maybe one of my past lives was as a bird. Because I had an experience yesterday too, which is so weird. Spirit just reminded me on my way to my mentor's house yesterday morning, I was driving and all of a sudden this giant eagle was like flying with my vehicle. And I saw it just swoop over my vehicle and like flying in front of me, wings, like this thing was massive, massive. I've never seen an eagle up close like that, but it was flying with me, with my car, and then it swooped down my windshield and up and over to the side of the road to pick up something, an animal, I'm guessing, a mouse, I don't know. And then I saw a hawk right after that, and it was wild. I felt power in that. I don't know why, but I felt there was symbolicness, like symbolism. There was power in that. And then I go to my mentor's house, and then her bird is like all over me and attached to me and climbing all over me and not afraid of me and drawn to me. And so, you know, maybe there's some sort of a connection with birds for me too in past lives. And then for some of you, it's fish. You know, I'm also picking up with the fish that you were a fisherman. And I'm talking in like the times of Jesus, like that long ago. You were a fisherman in that time, and you got to experience in real life what that was like with the Romans and Jesus, and you have a deep connection to that time period in particular. And then I'm also picking up on the high honors, royalty. That looks like a castle. So for some of you, like me, you've had some connection to royalty, to being a princess, a high priestess, I just heard, a medicine woman even. Like you were really highly honored. People respected you. They looked up to you. You were a leader of some sort. And you were a fair leader. You were a just leader. I don't know why I keep wanting to come back to this mountain, but I feel like I need more. Spirit, can you give me more on what this mountain card is supposed to be representing? Weird. Okay, we got, oh my God. Okay, oh shit, it's all making sense now. Oh my God, this is so crazy. So the vision I was getting was like a man with this cloak on, you know, and he's walking and he looks tired and he looks weary and he's just on this pilgrimage, but he doesn't look happy. He looks like he's searching for something. And holy shit, like I'm actually stunned right now. Marriage and sorrows. This is like the kind of man I saw in my vision, but he had a bigger cloak on. This is crazy. Oh my God. And now I'm understanding you lost your partner. You lost your partner to some sort of sickness. Cholera, I just heard. Cholera? You lost a wife to cholera. And then you went on this pilgrimage to some mountain to like find her almost, to look for her essence again, to find God, to find some meaning in why you lost her. Holy crap, that's so cool. Oh my God, that's so cool. Wow. I mean, not cool that you had to go through that pain, but how cool that unfolded in the vision that I saw and how it lines up with the new cards that just came out. That's crazy. This is going to be a longer reading. I mean, I think I'm just learning that my readings are getting longer and that's okay. Like, who am I to say that Spirit shouldn't, you know, the message should be a certain way. I'm trying to control it then. So this is just going to be a longer message. So I appreciate you if you're still in here with me. Let's get into the Egyptian Star Oracle to see a little bit more on the past lives. Why did you guide me to this deck, Spirit? What can you share with this collective about their past lives? Wow, the two spirits. This is funny. It's almost like twins. Harvesting of rewards. I need to keep going to make sense of this, but Akui, the two spirits, I actually have glasses on so I can read these damn cards now. 24, harvesting of rewards. I might have to look to the book for this one. But maybe you were a twin in a past life, or you have some connection to being a twin flame, being a twin. There's something about two people as one. What else? Oh, one just flipped over. What else? Why did you guide me to this Egyptian Star Oracle deck for past lives, Spirit? The next card out is card number 31, Arit, Roll of Papyrus. Writing or a person's legacy. Wow, that's pretty powerful. I'm getting the sense like you could have been a really important person in Egyptian times. Like you were somebody that wrote the scrolls, or how am I saying this? You were the keeper of the stories of royalty. Like you were in charge of documenting the lives of like big figures in Egyptian times. And it was your job to document as truthfully as possible the legacy and the lives of these incredible leaders of Egyptian times. I don't even know if there's a title for that, but I feel like you were responsible for writing, for documenting the lives of these people. And some of these tablets and some of these markings on the walls of tombs, you actually did. That's crazy. But you actually did the carvings on some of these tombs. King Tut, I just heard, his tomb. You were responsible for the drawings inside of his tomb to accurately keep a record of his legacy. Whoa. Wow. And then the other card out is Ipdes, revered senses, being of service. And I think this is like a servant. One of your past lives was a servant to the Egyptian royals. And you were happy to do it. This wasn't like, you weren't a slave. You wanted to serve. And Isis, I just heard, you served Isis. And you loved serving Isis. I'm not feeling like you're trapped or you chose this. You wanted this. You understood there was purpose to this in the time that you were doing this, but I feel like you were of service to Isis. What is this harvesting of rewards card, Spirit? You know what? I think I'm going to dive into the tarot to find out. Ugh, why do I feel like I need to not use this deck though? Please pardon me. I will be right back. Okay, well, I need to learn how to edit because I was like midway through the reading and I totally turned off. I had the remote in my hand. Oh, and I turned it off. Oh my God, how frustrating. But you know what? Maybe this is I'm gonna have to learn to edit. I don't edit my videos. I am technologically challenged, so I don't actually edit anything. I just film and post. Easy, keeping it simple. But I just effed up because I was holding the damn remote as I came back to the couch with the right deck of cards and I shut the damn camera off. Ah, Shannon. But you know what? It was such a good reading and such a good channel. I don't want to redo it. I'm not going to redo it. So I'm going to keep going. And if you're watching this, I've somehow learned to edit to put these two videos together. So here we go. I'm going to keep going and hope to God I can figure out how to merge these two videos together. But I want to understand. Okay, come on, cards, cooperate. I want to understand what this twin card is, this harvesting of rewards, but I'm seeing like two people in one. The two spirits, it's called. And what I'm picking up on is like twin flame, like two souls that have been separated but living these parallel lives to one another, and then there's a coming together. But help me understand, for past lives, what is this card? Why has it come out? Okay, so there's the Three of Wands, which to me is like starting a new adventure. And then the Knight of Discs, like a bringing of information, an offering of some sort. And then Eight of Cups, walking away. How does this relate to Spirit? Help me. How does this relate to this harvesting of rewards card? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it has nothing to do with twin flames. But the two spirits, I think it's important, the two spirits. Okay, so kind of like in today's times with a twin flame union, you meet the person, there's this intensity, but the purpose of this twin flame is to catapult you into growth, into your higher purpose. And I feel like that's kind of what these cards are saying, is like this catapulted you you had to walk away, like you had to walk away from that person in the past life. You had to go off and find your own way, learn your own lessons. But I don't know, it was so that you could find purpose and bring something to the world, some sort of information to the world. So weird though, like I don't know why, but I keep feeling like, well, that doesn't fit in the time period, but who am I to say that? Because this feels like Egyptian times, where you recognize this other soul, this person that was your twin. But it was a painful journey, but you recognize that you had to walk away, you had to go off and find your own journey. I don't know, it's weird. This is weird. Weird. This twin card, yeah, it's really catching me up a little bit, but because why couldn't twin flames be a thing back in Egyptian times? Like, who am I to say that it doesn't fit the timeline? Why wouldn't it? All right. What else? What else, star seeds? What else can you say about past lives, and what can I share with this collective? Yeah, wow, okay. I feel like this is still going along with that story that I was just talking about, though, where you found the Magician and the Ace of Cups are the two cards that come out, and it's like through this walking away, through this going off and finding yourself and finding your greater voice and your greater purpose, you found your self-love and you found your power, and you stepped into your Magician era. What is the Page of Swords here for, Spirit? Tell me what the Page of Swords is here. I open myself up to receive immense star knowledge, and I put what I learn into action. The Page of Swords is always looking for more knowledge as the emissary of the Sirian starship, and loves his job. Much like his young star being initiate, you might also have a deep curiosity to learn about new things and possess a deep thirst for wisdom. If you have a new idea or opportunity to be a student again, take it. This will spark your star gifts and help you level up. Wow. Yeah. There was a sentence there that I was hanging on to, and then it totally went out of my freaking head. That's the Queen. There we go, the Knight. Oh no, we want Page. Oh my God, Shannon. Oh. Yeah, I think I opened myself up to receive the star knowledge. I think you had a recognition of what this counterpart was to you, and it was a big part of your life and your story back then. And I believe you've carried that into other lives, and that twin flame, that soul, like it's one soul that breaks apart is how they describe it. You've carried that into other lives too, but you didn't always come together in other lives. Thank you, Spirit. Wow, it's almost like through other lives you guys have come together, but I feel like in the Egyptian life you didn't come back to union, because the counterpart had free will and didn't choose to see things the way you did. They chose to stay in illusion and distraction. And it's been like a reoccurring theme or lesson in each of the lives you've come to live. It's like a redo of that storyline. And in some lives, you do come back together, and in others, you don't. And I feel like for you, you probably recognize it as something playing out in this life too. Very cool, very interesting. Let me see. I want to look more at this being of service. What more can you tell me? Ooh, okay. About being of service. Ooh, the Tower and the Ace of Wands. I feel like of being of service with the Tower card coming out, think you were there through the rise and the fall of like so many. But you were always getting new ideas, you channeled, you were a channeler. And that's how you were of service to Isis, I heard again, which Isis recognized that you were channeling, that you were a channeler, that there was something special about your energy. And maybe you brought on towers. Your energy sparked things in people, sparked important tower moments that were necessary to change humanity, to grow in some way. But you were very humble. There was a humility to you where you knew it, you knew this about yourself, but it didn't like change you, or you weren't self-important because of it. You just understood that this was your God-given gift and that you were going to be of service to Isis using this gift. And that warms your heart every day to be of service. And because of that, yeah, Ace of Wands is like creativity, joy. You were happy. You felt free. And you were a very open channel to receive beautiful messages. Wow. Wow. I think I'm going to end it there. I think this was a really cool reading. I hope it resonated with you guys. I really friggin' hope. Now I can't even find the damn remote with all this stuff I got, all this shit I got on this freaking couch. Oh my God. Get it together, Shannon. Get it together. Okay, I found it. I'm dropping things. All right, guys, I hope you have a beautiful day. I filmed this on Sunday. I'm gonna post it tomorrow on Monday, just to give it a little bit of time for YouTube to catch up. And truthfully, I'm probably gonna need the time to edit these 2 videos. Oh my God. Oh, Spirit is doing this for me, Shannon. Doing it for you, not to you. This is helping you learn how to edit videos, which I probably should have learned how to do a while ago. But again, I like to keep it simple. So I love you guys. I hope you have a beautiful family day today, and wishing you all the best. Mwah.